Before watching the video, don't forget to subscribe the channel and enable bell notification to never miss an update from us.
Hello everyone, good morning to all of you. This is Ashima Shukla and you're watching us on Entri channel. In this video, we're going to talk about daily current news events which are important for your examination perspective for all the examinations, be it for SSC or RRB or be it for banking or defense. All these examinations have been covered in this video, so it's going to help all of your examination preparation. We're going to make this video in a descriptive format as always. So in this, you're going to get pointers for your news events notes which you're making, and I'll be telling you questions sidewise as the possible language of questions, right? So I'll be telling you the language and I'll be telling you about the detail of the news event as well. So we're going to begin with the first news event, that is Prasad Scheme. Now, this scheme is something which we are going to talk about and the recent development that has happened. First of all, we'll begin with the full form of Prasad. This is an acronym. Now, it's not what we call it as the different prasad which we know. It stands for Pilgrimage Rejuvenation and Spiritual Augmentation Drive, whose major purpose is to bring infrastructure development in various arenas, and those arenas have been identified as of now as 30 infrastructural development projects and 30 cities. So under Prasad scheme, the developmental purpose is the main idea, and under that idea various developments have taken place and identifications have been done of 30 places and 12 cities. They are from various states like Assam, Bihar, Gujarat, Rajasthan, Uttarakhand, Odisha, and various other states have been identified. Now, what is the recent development regarding this? So, Ministry of Tourism, or Union Minister of Tourism, has recently constructed Tourist Facilitation Center at Guruvayur in Kerala. And this facilitation center is the first in the country. So there's nothing as such ever made in the country. It's for the first time that a facilitation center has been made in the country, and this has been made in Kerala. Again, like in last video, like that is in yesterday's video, we had talked about various developments that have happened in Kerala regarding internet, and now we are having certain developments which are regarding the tourism sector of Kerala as well. To remember this, one more thing is associated with it, and that is that Kerala Tourism has recently received an award for the best tourism drive. So that was Asia Pacific Award for best tourism drive, and that was also received by Kerala. Right now, if we talk about the Union Minister as of now for Tourism and Culture, that is Prasad Singh Patel. So over here you can remember the name as Prasad Singh Patel. So Prasad Singh Patel is the current Union Minister of Tourism. Now, the center is going to construct this development of Guruvaya project, and to associate with that, the whole of Prasad scheme is completely central government funded. So this scheme is completely of central government. There is no involvement of state government in this. Now, when we're talking about infrastructure development, what comes under it? Now, there are various components of this. The various components being the transport facility, interpretation centers, ATM exchanges, money exchanges, multi-level car parking, CCTV network, and basic amenities, hygiene amenities, and other basic tourism facilities. So there are various facilities which are associated. Now, when was this scheme launched? This scheme was launched in 2015, and since then it has been making progress in a lot of arenas, including the Buddhist centers. Now, Buddhist centers development also comes under Act East policy. So since it is covering both the policies, it is very important to know. So Buddhist heritages are being built, basically not going to be built. They are being built, and that is in association with Act East policy also and Prasad scheme also. Buddhist sites, recent one if we talk about, that is Ajanta and Ellora and Bodh Gaya. Both of them are the recent ones which have been developed infrastructurally in various formats, right? Now we'll be moving towards our next is 100% motor vehicle tax exemption to electric vehicles. Electric vehicles, EVs is electric vehicles. Electric vehicles have been provided 100% motor vehicle tax exemption, and this is not all over India. This is only in Tamil Nadu. So state government of Tamil Nadu has recently made a step further, or took a step further, and they have given 100% tax exemption. Earlier the concession was 50%, and now this 50% has been increased to 100%, and it is not only for transport but also for non-transport vehicles. So transport vehicles being those electric buses or trains or something like that, but non-transport vehicles as well are going to be promoted for electric vehicle format. So those, sale one, the street vendors, the vehicles they use, they are also among that. Right now, Tamil Nadu is one of those states which gives 100% GST reimbursement and 50% capital subsidy to all the electric vehicle manufacturing units. And that is the reason now that we can see that the first electric vehicle manufacturing unit was set up by Hyundai in India, and that was set up in Tamil Nadu only. So Tamil Nadu is the state where the first EV manufacturing unit was set up, and that was set up by Hyundai over there. Right now, apart from this, there is also an electric vehicle park that is going to be set up, which is going to take up a land of approximately 300 acres. Land of 300 acres is going to be taken up, and this is the first park in India, the first of its kind in India, that is going to be developed. Right now, we're trying to promote electric vehicles in various states, but no one is promoting it as we see for Tamil Nadu. What is this whole project being covered under? It is National Electric Mobility Mission Plan, National Electric Mobility Mission Plan 2020, under which this whole coverage is taking place, and also FAME, which is also one of the schemes, and second phase has been launched. Second phase of FAME promotes electric vehicles and such sources of energy, and that is why this is also very important. Phase FAME scheme 2 or second phase is applicable as of now. Full form of FAME is faster adoption and manufacturing of hybrid and electric vehicles. Right? Moving ahead, Worldwide Fund has recently released Water Risk Filter Report. So first question you can see over here, Worldwide Fund has released this report. Second of all, what are the findings in this? In this we are going to move directly towards the pointers. First of all, 30 Indian cities are likely to face acute water risk. Now, what exactly do they mean by water risk? So according to the report, the definition of acute water risk is battling between floods and droughts. There's going to be floods and then droughts, floods and then droughts. So 30 Indian cities have been identified. And if we talk about number of cities in a particular country, so if we compare all the countries, the most number of cities that are affected are of India. Right? And as per the report, Smart City Initiative is one of those initiatives which can help India gain that water stability, gain that water management stability that can be, improving the situation of Indian cities. So Smart City Initiative is one initiative which can help in the future. Next is India GCC Troika dialogue, which was held recently. So if we talk about this dialogue now, GCC stands for Gulf Cooperation Council, which is an intergovernmental economic and political union. And it is very important from India's perspective because though India is not a member, India has a major role in it. What was the purpose of India joining in this? The reason was that India wants to ease the return of Indian professionals and workers from the Gulf countries because this is a Gulf cooperation. So there are various issues that workers and professionals face when they have to return to India. So the idea behind India joining this dialogue was this. Who was the representative of India? Definitely the External Affairs Minister of India, that is S. Jaishankar. S. Jaishankar had represented India in this meeting. And who are the members of this GCC? It is all the Arab states such as Bahrain, Oman, Kuwait, Saudi, Qatar, and UAE. These are the certain Gulf countries which are a part of it. Now, if we talk about this, first of all, India had very beautiful relations with Iran, very amazing relations, and Saudi and GCC they had very good relations with Pakistan. This was what the perspective was. But India is the second largest customer of Iranian oil, but due to United States pressure, we have started to reduce the imports from Iran because Iran and US don't go side by side on that part, right? So, to fulfill that void that we have, that we can't take much from Iran, but we require the oil. So to fill that gap, Saudi Arabia and these GCC countries they have come together and filled in that void. And after that, as you can see, they have started developing in India. As we can see, Aramco and ADNOC or the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. Both of them have decided to build a mega refinery in Ratnagiri in Maharashtra. It's a very important thing. Aramco is a very important company because it is the largest buy-profit company in the world. And for the first time, it has started to invest in India, which is a very important and big step for us. Aramco of Saudi Arabia also purchased 20% stake in Indian Reliance Industries as well. If we look at further part or a year beyond, we can see in 2018, UAE, India, and Saudi Arabia they had created a trilateral oil cooperation as well. So in 2019, Aramco and ADNOC had decided to invest in India. In 2018, the three countries, India, UAE, and Saudi Arabia, they stepped in to bring stability in oil cooperation after the United States had issued sanctions on Iran. Right? All right. Now we'll be moving to CBDT, Central Board of Direct Taxes, that has exempted sovereign wealth fund for which country now? This is not an exemption for all the countries. Not all countries have been exempted from it. So which of the country has been exempted from it? The country is Abu Dhabi, UAE. Abu Dhabi, UAE has been exempted from the sovereign funds. Now, first of all, what the exemption is, how the exemption is, and then we'll see what sovereign funds are, and then we'll see the furthers of this news event. So for CBDT, the interest rates, dividend, and long-term capital gains, they have been exempted, or the exemption has been made for them. If we look further, exemption has been made under the clause 23 FE of section 10 of Income Tax Act. So the exemption has been made under which act? That is also important, especially for all the banking examination students, that under which taxation does sovereign funds come. So this exemption has been made, or this exemption can be made for sovereign funds under 23 FE of section 10 of Income Tax Act. Now, what are, first of all, till when is this exemption? Now, this is not an unlimited exemption. This exemption has been allowed only till March 31, 2024. If we look at what exactly is a sovereign fund, it is basically an investment which is, it's an investment fund which is owned by a particular country, a particular state. So, money is generated by the government and that drives the surplus reserves of the country, right? So they benefit the economy of the country on that part because these funds generate the income or generate the money for the people or the government, right? Now, sovereign funds can be various types. They can be stabilization funds, reserve investment funds, saving, future generation. There are various forms of these funds, right? Now, looking further to it, is this exemption without any conditions? No, there are certain conditions that have been put up. First of all, no commercial activity can be done using this fund. So using sovereign funds, only non-commercial activities are allowed. Commercial activities cannot be done in India or outside India. It's not only for India, it's even outside India. Second thing, income tax has to be filed for that term period. Only when this income or this amount is going to be liquidated is the time when this return is going to happen, or they'll get the exemption. So income tax has to be filed. Thirdly, quarterly statement of the investments has to be produced. We have to give the quarterly statement of the investment. And furthermore, who is going to own these funds? These funds are going to be owned by Abu Dhabi government itself. It is not going to be under Indian government or under any organization of India. It is going to be controlled, regulated, and owned by Abu Dhabi government only. Alright. So over here you have got to know a lot about this, and that is important from examination perspective, a very, very important topic. Next, we have NCAER report. Now, if we talk about this report, first of all, what is NCAER? That is National Council of Applied Economic Research. And this report was titled as Estimating the Economic Benefit of Investment in Monsoon Mission and High Performance Computing Facilities. And in this, the various farmers were surveyed on a face-to-face manner. There are 15 major agro-climatic zones, out of which 10 monsoon agroclimatic zones were surveyed in this whole NCAER mission or survey, which was a face-to-face survey. And according to that, various results were derived out of it, and how the how the developments in this field have helped us, like irrigation methods or pesticide application, fertilizer application. How have these been improved and improved the agricultural practices as well? One question that might arise from biology segment or the students is out of curiosity is, what is agroclimatic zone? Agroclimatic zone is a geographical area which has similar, every geographical area, it varies from every 10 kilometers. But something similarity on rainfall or soil type and temperature, something similar, that comes under one agroclimatic zone. Right? So when there's a certain similarity in a group, in an area, that area is known as agroclimatic zones, and we have 15 agroclimatic zones. A few one-liners for all of you. Union Cabinet, which was chaired by Prime Minister Modi, approved the MOU, which was signed between India and Israel for health and medicine. Health and medicine MOU is basically for improving the medical doctors and professionals exchange and setting up healthcare facilities, medicinal devices, pharmaceuticals, cosmetics in these arenas. Then India and UAE held a high-level joint task force on investments, and this was created in 2012, and they work on various investments. One of those we have already talked about, that is exemption on sovereign taxes. Sovereign funds. Then US has approved 600 million US dollars armed drones sale to Taiwan. Now Taiwan is one of those countries which which wants to be free of China, but it cannot be freed. So there are various complications that this country faces, and any country who supports it kind of is against China, or they assume it that to be. So it's a part of China. India accepts it as its own country, and US has recently approved 600 million US dollars armed drones. This we wind up the session for the day. A lot of events have been covered, a few in detail and a few in one-liners format, and I hope that has helped you in understanding the various news events. Kindly join us or subscribe the channel, like the video, and tell us in the comment section how you like the video. We'll see you in the next video. Until then, goodbye. Take care and have a great day ahead.